Hello, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here. Let's take a look at my journal and cards that I use for the month of September 2022. Should we start with the Moon Diary, just to show I'm keeping up on my daily pulls in here really, more than anything else. So this is the FlickeringCauldron Moon Diary 2022. And as I always say, I bought the tabs for the dates on the side, all the multicolours from Amazon, and I've put them on just so that I can find easily where I am in here, so I can get to where I want to be. So it's September. I didn't get to work much or at all, I don't think, with witch hazel because I was trying to incorporate the herb into my kind of daily life, I suppose is the best way of using or putting it. But what I did find this month is that I am still working quite heavily with tea tree, peppermint, eucalyptus, rosemary oil, and lemon oil, and also orange or bergamot as well, because they both have that sort of orangey feel. So that's what I have been using throughout, you know, the home for products and washing and in my burners and things, more than coming in onto this one. So let's just have a look. So the point to witch hazel is, so we have healing, beauty, wisdom, inspiration, cleansing, purification, divination, protection, and finding lost objects, and chastity are some of its magical properties. So the oils that I've been using, interestingly, do hold some of those properties. So anyway, I've kind of worked with the magical element of that herb without actually realizing, without intentionally realizing, I have worked along with part of what that herb does. And obviously it was the month of Virgo, and for anyone who was living under a stone, we also had some Mercury retrograde going on, and let me tell you, it affected me this month. Virgo is the month where I take a week off in September, always do, and it's the one where I get to do the house sorting. You know, we do the bills, contracts, renewals, and all those sorts of boring life things that have to be done, the grown-up stuff, we adult. And for some reason, Mercury retrograde being in Virgo, now I don't know if it was there last year or not, I'm not sure, or if it just missed my week off, but it wreaked havoc with everything that I did in that week. Lesson learned: don't purchase things for the home, the house, clothing, make big decisions, change contracts for the house when the retrograde is in my Virgo, because it didn't do me well. So my card of days and my expansions are here. We had pages in here about the magical creatures, so lots of different magical creatures: mermaids, krakens, leprechauns, merfolk, unicorns. The banshee, that's a really interesting one for the banshee, and a bit about dragons. And then just going through the harvest moon correspondence for the full moon in September, and some information there with some magical intentions that you could set. Then we have the equinox that also happened in September, so it was a really big month actually for energy and things. An oil recipe and some other correspondences for the equinox or Mabon, depending on which you celebrate or if you celebrate. And then of course the September new moon that's not long past, and this one's got a so feeling into Libra, because we'd obviously swapped into Libra at that point, and feeling into that kind of sensualness of Libra. And there's a beautiful room or body spray here that you can make, and interestingly I've just spotted it, so it has witch hazel, moon water, so I could have potentially made that spray. I think I just don't have patchouli. Anyway, so I'd have done that by putting my witch hazel out under the moon and then making it from there. And as you can see, I didn't do my new moon wishes. I did write a little bit about the full moon, and then September notes: Mercury retrograde in Virgo, do not purchase stuff. And here we go into October. So we have catnip for October, and I believe this is a member of the kind of mint family. So whether that this will see me carrying on working with mint or not. I'm not sure. You can probably hear I do have a bit of a something on my chest, and that's one of the reasons why I've been using so much mint and eucalyptus, and I love them. I absolutely love them. So we have purple for Libra this month on here is the colour they're going with. We have, our cat is called Jinxie. Actually, my cat used to be called Jinxie when I was a child. And yeah, so some correspondences, and then we go into October. The year is fast coming to an end, isn't it? So that's that one. For those of you who have kept up with my journaling, I have already preset my journal for October this year because I had to get ahead. September, I was on call, it became really busy, and then I just needed to do a bit to get me into October as well, because I've got lots going on with family and things. So here we go, September's setup. So for September, my card of the month from my calendar spread is 4 of air. So healing, meditation, rest, recuperation. And then we've got here time to rest the mind and allow peace. Quiet is required to obtain clarity. Time to take a break. Let me tell you, I didn't have quiet and I didn't have peace, and I certainly didn't get to take a break. If I did, maybe the whole month would have gone a bit smoother. And then my oracle card was 42 wide open. Express your uniqueness and share in life's endless possibilities. This is the card of the maverick. Freely roam the wide open space of possibilities. Yeah, I totally was maverick. I was definitely roaming the wide open spaces, but not getting many answers. And I don't know why, but I dropped in a planet and just went with some really colourful kind of washi for September. And that was how I was feeling at the point of setting this up. Now, April from Tarot and Witchery did a monthly overview spread, and she invited us all to take part and have a go. So I did. It was 9 questions. Now, even as a month ahead spread, I would never pull 9 cards, and I would never do 9 questions, if that makes sense. So my previous so obviously my calendar spread is 1 card, 1 oracle card, 1 tarot, 1 oracle, and that gives me a great overview. When I used to do the previous, I don't know, 2 years ago in my journals, I still wouldn't do this. It would be a different type of spread, maybe a 3-card spread to get the feeling of the month, and then I would stop there. But this one had lots of questions and lots of things to be thinking about, and there was interaction with the deck as well. I'm just trying to see. So, for instance, what card represents me best when the answers of 7 and 8 comes together? So that was making you really think about the cards that you've pulled for 7 and 8, and then kind of, I suppose, in a way, making you work with the deck. So there's a lot of thought that's gone into this spread, but it was not one that I'll be repeating, I don't think, not for that sort of thing. For other questions, I think this spread's brilliant, but I couldn't do this every month. It took me too long. And so you can see I've took a picture of my spread, I've written it out here and stuck it in as a tip in because I needed more space. And I'd already started drawing up this spread over here as well. And I have a spiritual cleanse from Emerald Lotus Flower. And this one is going to be energy that surrounds me right now, how the surrounding energy is affecting me, what can I do to cleanse my energy, and how can I raise my energetic vibration. And this one is one I'm actually planning on doing later today or probably tomorrow. So I've left that one there for me. And as I said, it's been busy. So again, my spreads are low on what you see. So I have my week ahead spread for the first week starting the 5th of September. And I've decorated the page with lots of flowers here. And then I have taken a picture of the weekly reflections. But what I didn't do with this spread is I don't think I did an oracle card. I don't think I've done an oracle card. And I was practicing doing no pictures because that's what I'm thinking is going to happen in my next journal. And so I've got my week ahead. What is the general energy I can expect? What energy do I need to avoid giving mine to? And how should I focus to get the best outcomes this week? And then I've drawn my keys in nice and large, separated my cards out, and then down here, based on everything I had here, I have put communication is key. Thoughts become words. I can't remember how I got to this, but it's obviously from this, and that was my kind of final thoughts. And then for my weekly reflections, I was pulling 3 cards, and basically a double popped out twice, and then a SIM card there, which is why I've split the spread up and you can see it that way. And then I've just done an overall message about what my feelings were about those 5 cards that I had for my spread. And I really like the botanical stickers. I haven't tired of them. It's been a year. I haven't tired of them. I'll probably buy some more. My full moon in Pisces. So I've started setting it in case I want to take a picture of this and stick it into, or in case maybe one day I want to digital journal, and then doing my kind of spread and everything on the other page. And that might be something that we start to see more of moving forwards for me. But as always, my spreads are from Ethany at ethany.com, and they are the free downloadable moon spreads that she does, with other great resources on her website as well, and brilliant courses that you can sign up for. And here we have my week ahead for the 10th of September. I was feeling colourful, so I've got brilliant bright coloured washi tapes, and then I got these beautiful vintage stickers, which then made me feel like I wanted an Alice in Wonderland spread. So I pulled out the Alice decks, which I hadn't planned on using this month, so they became a late addition to my carts to use. Here we have another week ahead, so you can see it's changed a little bit from here because some new items arrived in the post, and I needed to practice journaling with them. So I got some new bits of paper, so I was trying layering. That's what I'm trying here, because I love those junk journals, but I just can't get to grips with how you then write on all those things that you create in a junk journal. And I was going to do, if I remember rightly, I wasn't going to stick the cards in, but I decided that I wanted to because they were so unusual. I decided I wanted the cards in this in the book, so I started drawing them and then took a picture and popped them in. And this is the Dream Keepers Tarot, which I'm saying my Dream Keepers. Dream Keepers is here. Alice in Wonderland, Queen Alice, Tarot of the Unfolding Paths, Dream Keepers Tarot, that's it, isn't it? Oh no, Tarot of the Unfolding Paths. And yeah, so far. And then we have Oracle of Echoes up here. So what did I do? Instead of pulling an oracle originally, I pulled another card because the deck felt so oracle-y, dreamy-esque that I pulled a card, and then I decided to clarify it with an oracle card. So that's what I did here, and it was basically because I was looking for the underlying energy, and oracle advice is what I've written up there to what was going on over here. Then I have my weekly reflections. There's no picture of the cards here, but again I did it with the Dream Keepers, and I've drawn a key here, which is quite hard to spot, but it's there. So what did I miss that week in work? And then I have the Hanged Man, Ten of Cups, and the Magician. And I've kind of like a little bit of writing here, and then like my own thoughts, and then basically give yourself a pat on the back. It was tough. And we come to this week, our final week of September, finishing today on the 30th of September. So I haven't done my reflection because I'll do that this evening. That'll be my last thing on this page. And my overall energy. So you can see I've got layers going on. I've used my stickers for the cards over here. So I cannot remember what deck that was. I think it was probably the Relative Tarot, which is RWS inspired. So anything very RWS, I use these stickers just to put down. And for this one I have the overall energy of the week. I wanted to know where to focus my productivity for work, and what did I need to avoid spending too much energy on, because I knew there was going to be a tough week in work. And the brown writing was my preliminaries, and the black writing that I've put in here is today's. I was just comparing like how close or how far off I might have been with what was going on. And then I have my Oracle of Echoes kind of clarifier to that spread from Monday. And what do we have here? Find your equilibrium, because it's all about balance. I put balance your actions, thoughts and heart. Try not to let emotions dominate your actions, especially from a place of ego, because like I said, that was all kind of like leading on from the everything going wrong point from my week off. And then we have the new moon in Libra. So yeah, so there's the stuff that comes from Ethany, and then over here is my write-up about the cards, and then I've got my spread here. Now I did this spread very differently. I used the Oracle of Echoes to answer the cards, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I used Barbara Walker to clarify the cards because I didn't find that it quite hit what I needed, so I used a tarot deck to clarify the oracles, which I don't normally do, but I did this time. And then one other thing that I was doing this month, and I have a tip in here, look, it's one of those rare occasions where I have actually got this huge 1, 2, 3, like tip in, is I joined the card slingers over at Avalon's Patreon, and she's doing a 30-day challenge for tarot, and you use one deck for 30 days, and then there are like kind of set rules, and she sends out emails as well, telling you, giving you prompts and things. So it's like 30 days worth of prompts, and working with the cards and sharing knowledge, and sharing things with the group. And so I have been dedicating that here, so there's no pictures other than my symbols and my writing. So I was changing and working through my fountain pens basically, and the different coloured inks I have. And that is where I've got to for September. And if you joined me recently, I did start prepping, or I prepped most of October in advance to free up what's going on. And because I'm not doing it in the moment, my colours are slightly different to perhaps how I would start doing it now. But I'm okay with that. It's all very kind of earthy and grounding in its colour palette. So you can see I've drawn my grid in. I've shown you how I draw my grid in, and you can draw it in with me on the video. I'll pop it in the comments below if you want to see how that happened. And then I've put my month ahead card in already. My oracle card is already in there. I've put the moon phases in, and then just journaled my pages. So I've got my weeks ahead. So starting Monday, ready to put my full moon in Aries, blood moon in here. Then we have week ahead starting the 10th, so my working week. And I don't know if you can see very clearly there, but basically I misspelt it. So I've wrote over it in black. I've just left it. I've left the mistake there. I'm okay with that. And we have the 17th here. I have the 24th, week of the 24th. And then I have my new moon in Scorpio ready to go. And I started doing, so there's a Samhain tarot spread. This one is from Emerald Lotus Flower. And this one is communicating with spirit. So I've got my spread here drawn up, ready to go, and a page there to write about it. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages left for any other spreads that I may or may not get round to doing in the month of October. So that's where we're at. So we've nearly completed this book as well, but I have got more months in this one, so I've got 4 months into this one. So we've got July, August, September, October's going in here, and then November, December, as I said, will go into my little A5 traveller's notebook to get me through to the end of the month, end of the year, and then I shall start a new system, I think. Oh, that was quite a lot, wasn't it? So if you're from England, you might recognise this. This is from my childhood. This is my actual pencil case from secondary school. It is battered from being smashed around in my bag. I've lost or misplaced the metal layer that sits on here, so it's a 2-layered one. But this is where I keep my pens that I have been doing most of my journaling with lately, because I've been using the earthy tones and colours. So I have a black, the blue, the brown here. Just trying to have a look. So I think this is the brown and this is the writer's blood. They're very similar, just slight difference in shade. One's darker than the other. for writer's blood. There's quite a bit of writer's blood that I used this month. Looking at it. Okay, I can't remember all the names, but so I have, because a couple of people have been asking about what I write with. So I have, this is one of my pens. And this one you fill this bit here with ink, and it has a stopper there so it doesn't roll off the table. So it's got like a bejeweled stopper. I think they call these demonstrator pens or something. I'm not like, I'm not up on what what we call everything. I like them. They're pretty, they're shiny. I buy them and I use them. So this is one of my acrylic pens. I'm not big on acrylic pens per se. This is one that I've had for 25 plus years. And this is one that I use when I'm drawing. So it's kind of like a fountain pen. It's the weirdest thing ever. This is the pen, lid and base, and this is the refill. So the whole thing, the nib, the tip, and your ink all gets used, and then it goes in the bin. And these are Stylo refills. They're messy. They leak like I don't know what, especially from this bit here. So I'm always covered, even if I draw, because I don't draw from here, I draw a bit lower down, but I'm always covered in ink when I use this. But this is the one that I use when I do Patrick Valenza line drawings, when I'm, you know, inspired to draw from some of his work. That's what I use. Just looking to see what that is there. This is a new refill, so yeah, so I have that one. Then I have my oh my goodness, Hongdang are they? So this is the Black Forest range of pens, which I really like. I love these. So these are thin. They're ones that you can post. This is my black one. This one has the brown ink in it, the dark brown ink in it. So I love these, and these are fine nibs. I have my pink one. These come in so many colours, and they're metal, so they've got a good weight on them, and they've just got really pretty nibs as well. They write lovely for fines. This one has blue ink in it. I know I don't match my inks to my pen colours, because this one is black, but this has got brown in it. The see-through one's actually got the black ink in it. This one has the writer's blood in it. Again, another beautiful nib. So I just really like them. And there's a couple more kicking around the house, some which I use for work. They're upstairs. But those are the ones that I've been using lately, because I know last year I was heavily using the zebra coloured fountain pens, which are disposable. But these are ones that I've been using this year. Anyway, that's enough about really boring stuff. Let's have a look at the decks. Okay, Alice in Wonderland. Let's start with you. So right in front of me. So it's the Dame Darcy Queen Alice Tarot with the silver fronts, and then we have the Queen Alice Oracle from Lucy Cavendish with the Yasmin Beckett Griffiths artwork. And this one hasn't been edged yet. Oh, amazing. There you go. So just to give you an idea of how they look and work together, because as we know, this isn't generally how I use my cards, but this just gives you like a little look-see of how they read together. And this deck, as I say, I either use the prompt of the card, which is use your time well, make every moment count, or I might use that as my question for how I want to answer. So if I was to use this to answer a question, then I'd use this to answer that question, if that makes sense. Or if I wanted to create a question, so use your time well, okay, how can I best use my time? And then I'd pull a tarot card to tell me how to do that. So what do we have? Let me just come back here. So we have the Emperor with Law is Not Justice, or the Hierophant with Law is Not Justice. They do go quite nicely together. Queen with Believe, they've both got crowns. The Magician with Manage to be Glad. So I think they do work quite nicely together. The artwork they're not similar, but they've got colours. And it does seem like you get the message that you want. So we have Two of Pentacles with Clock Time. The Sun here with Follow the White Rabbit. So I think so the messages I think do work beautifully together within these cards. And I don't use, many of you know, I don't really use the Dame Darcy Alice deck much at all, to be fair. I just don't often feel called to pull it out. So it was quite nice to actually do something different with it and work with it for a change. So that was one of my obscure pairings that I had. I also did, so we did the Moon Oracle, or the New Moon spread. So for that one was this deck by Anna Turian, for those of you who are familiar. This is the first edition, second print run of the first edition. And then I used Babs to help out here with this one. It felt like, because this deck felt a bit dark in the spread that I pulled, so it felt like this one was going to be good because it has lots of black in it as well. I don't know if they worked symbiotically or not, but it did do what I needed it to do. So here we have, talking of symbiosis, Six of Swords and God Speaks. So colour palette wise, it seemed to work for the majority of it. And the keywords at the top. So here we have Grace at the top, but it's a Three of Cups with Time to Soar and Courage. Hope with Empress and Goddess Speaks. So they did speak to each other as a deck. But from I don't know, I think it's white borders on this one. Maybe if they didn't have the white borders, then it would perhaps have lined up as a story better. So we have Spirit Heals, the Eight of Wands with Fall, and then we have the Lovers there. And that one you might recognise from my journal, so I had that one out. So we have a Journey with Nine of Wands and Defensiveness and Balance. I love that little home. So we have Death, Reward with Ace of Pentacles and Home. Spirit Guides, Emperor and Decisions. So yeah, you did get the messages that you needed when you were working with them that way. So that was how those decks were used within my month of September. Now this one, so I have the Relative Tarot, which I have talked about before, and this one, actually I'll just do that. Because it's so heavily RWS influenced, sorry, I should have brought you down, shouldn't I? Because it is heavily RWS influenced, I was able to use my stickers for this when I was journaling, and as a kind of deck, so this would be one of my 3-card deck pulls, usually, and so it wasn't really one that I needed oracles with, so it's just, I would simply lay them out. And as a deck goes, for storylines here, it's really good. I'm sorry about the light there, it's so dark and rainy here. So I enjoyed using this. I think the images in this are really nice. I know there's the cards, the Postal Tarot from the Estonian creator, which is very similar to this. But I have this one, so I think this is one that I'll probably stick with for a moment. So yeah, I have been enjoying using that. Next is this one, which focused in quite a few of my spreads. So it is the Unfolding Path Tarot, which I think I keep calling Tarot of the Unfolding Path. Anyway, the Unfolding Path Tarot by Athena Khan, who used to be known as the White Witch, and she's on Etsy. She also has AthenaKhan.com now, I think, which is her website. I've dropped it into a bag which came from the Witch Casket, and this is one with these beautiful floral backs. And again, this one I was using as a spread on its own. And I just think that the cards, so the facial expressions in the cards, firstly, really set it apart from so many other decks that I've seen. And there's a range of people in the cards to me, which is another thing that I liked. I know lots of people have been comparing this, and I have as well, because when it first came in, it had it's the closest thing I have that reminded me to the Lightseers Tarot, because it's modern, it's modern day. It is slightly different to Everyday Tarot by Poppy Palin. It has a slightly different feel to Poppy Palin's deck. This one has that because it has open space to see, but I love the colour palette in this. It's so nice, and it has a very different feel, like I say, but easy to read. Excuse me. So it's just the way she creates the characters, their facial features, the age ranges, the dynamics in the cards as well. Just all gives it that really nice feeling. So I think she's done it beautifully. I think she's pulled it off really nicely, and I do quite enjoy I've enjoyed using this deck this month. I've used it for daily pulls, and I've used it in weekly layouts as well. So that was my Unfolding Path Tarot. So yeah, I'm glad I have this one in my collection. And then we have the Dreamkeeper's Tarot. So this is the mass market version, and it comes with this book. I don't know if I've done a walkthrough, to be honest, of a lot of these decks. We have the Seven of Pentacles. So we'll just have a look at what it says. So you get a little bit there. So I'll bring it up so you can see. Persistence, dream in the face of lagging enthusiasm for our Seven of Pentacles. And then it tells us about the card. So it's an explanation about the card here. We have a divinatory message at the back, and then we have keywords. So upright, assessment, reward, diligence, preparation, patience. And then we have reverse keywords: impatience, rash decisions, and forcing the issue. And it does that for each card in the book. And then you have quite a few spreads here. I really should pay more attention to spreads in books. I'm terrible for that. But yeah, so there are a nice one. There's one here about choosing between paths. So yeah, a nice book. And I know lots of people are after the mass market edition just for that book. It has these backs. It's got a silver kind of sheen to the cardstock, but I haven't edged it. And it's that kind of surreal world image-wise in this deck. So, for instance, this is the moon. Bring it up so you can have a nice look. So you're kind of like she's looking or holding, there's a face. So is that the person in the moon that she's holding in her hands? Or is she the moon herself? Because it's kind of got that feel. And then we've got, like, you know, the dark side of her. So if this is all beauty and illuminated, and then on the dark side we've kind of got bones, decay, spikes. But yeah, there are lots of things. There's even writing in the bottom of the card here that might not be picking up for you, but there's writing in there. And images like this, I just love them. So the fates, of course, that's your Wheel of Fortune. So we have the Star, Seven of Cups, the Devil. Strength card is a little bit different. So we have somebody who's coming out of the egg, but we've got them wrapped up in a snake. It's almost like they've been bound with their hands behind them. So again, really interesting take on the cards to get you thinking. Like the Four of Wands. I just love the surrealism in the artwork. So you can obviously read this any way you want, but like the Five of Cups, just for the artwork alone, there's a lady in the moon, it's kind of attached to the thread. These two cups here, they look like their eyes watching you. with the 3 floating away. So there's lots of sort of imagery that you can take from this that could jump out and really, really kind of like get your intuition flowing. And even to use this as a deck for storytelling, which is something you can use as well. If you wanted to write a story, you could easily drop these out because they're so bizarre to write a story. You know, a short story to get you going. And finally, 30-day tarot challenge with Avalon on her Patreon is this one. So it comes in a bag. So this is Lydia Wilhelmina's tarot. These are the backs. This is the book basically that comes with it. And then these are the cards. So this one I'm using a set spread, 1 card, so 3 cards, 1 card for each thing, and 1 card reads for each thing. So it's not like a spread read fluidly. So if I give you 2, because I'm trying to avoid the sheen that happens over here. So as you can see, we have the Sun and we have the 4 of Wands. It's a very dark imagery deck, as in lots of blacks and shadow and shading. And for that reason, it makes me feel like it is an autumnal winter deck, because it's not full of it's not full of my usual bright colours that I like to see in cards. There are some splashes, but again, it's all still very dark. I mean, that's part of the Renaissance, I'm guessing this is Renaissance style artwork that's in them. But yeah, it's just really interesting collage deck as to how she put it all together. I don't know if this is in print. My understanding is it's currently out of print, so that might help some of you. I know that lately I've been enjoying seeing people show decks out of print because it means I can't go and get them, which has been helping me no end. But it's just like, yeah, obviously it's dark, it's got skulls, it's got pumpkins, it's got masks, it's got decaying flowers, lots of decaying matter in it. And that's what I like about it. You know, you've got like your bird skulls. There's lots of bird skulls that featured in this deck. Lots of kind of vampire-y looking people. I know some people might say this is a Halloween deck. I don't think it's for Halloween. I think it's for the whole season, like the next 2 seasons. As I said, to me this is equinox, autumn equinox into winter equinox feel. So there we go. I hope you I hope you enjoyed this. As I said, that Mercury retrograde has totally messed up my brain. It's given me plenty of fuzz, and my thoughts are not cohesive. What can I say? I'm living it. I'm living it completely. So take care. I will see you in the next one, and hopefully we all have a much better, much happier, more balanced October. Take care. Bye-bye.